and welcome to the first video on the Squadex channel. Thank you for the support you showed on the first introduction video. And today I'm joined by two Squadex members, that's Samyak and Kritik.
Yo guys, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and just take care of yourselves and yeah.
Hello everyone and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I forgot about New Year. Sorry, Happy New Year.
Yeah, it's good all of us survived through this year, isn't it?
Yeah, somehow.
So today we'll be reacting to 5 scary recent mysteries of 2020. I mean, this year is so weird anyway, so let's just
know what you
see
can
how it goes.
also.
Right,
Exactly.
Next 2 days or something.
Yeah, only that 2021 should not be worse. Okay.
Let's see.
I'm quite excited to see this actually. Like,
This year has been an odd one, and will likely stand
so
out
true.
as one of the strangest years in decades. But among news of a supposed new normal, there have been a number of mysteries, making the year just that much stranger. These are 5 mysteries from 2020.
oh, it's giving me so many like goosebumps.
Yeah.
Thinking how
Nice voice.
the mysteries are still there.
Saying it 2020.
Exactly, like his voice. It's his voice.
I play.
Number 5.
Okay, let's see what's number 5.
Managing airspace at even a modest airport is a complicated matter. With countless planes coming in and out every hour, airport traffic controllers need to have a good grip on all of the vehicles, both in the air and on the runway. In recent years, drones have become
I swear, that was a good game. That was actually a good game.
Yeah, but
Did
it's
you play
dead.
like
It's
yeah?
honestly really dead.
a growing issue.
Now it's dead. Yeah, now it's dead.
Dozens of airports have had to close for hours while security tries to locate the airspace invaders, which would cause havoc with planes filled with people. But as technology
Mine's
develops,
levitating.
it's
I
not
want
only
that, I want
drones that
that.
airports would have to worry about. On August 30th,
GDM
American
right now.
Airlines Flight 1997 left Philadelphia at around 3:20 p.m. local time to begin the 5-hour journey to Los Angeles. There was nothing particularly unusual about the flight, and the plane made it to Los Angeles' LAX airport without issue. However, on approach, pilots encountered something strange. They radioed in to the control tower to inform them the plane had just passed a guy in a
What?
jetpack.
Imagine you're sitting on that
From
plane.
Wow.
Dimension.
Imagine you're sitting
I can
on
bet that would be a bird or something.
It can't. No, like there are few things.
Flying
like
3,000 feet above the tarmac. A
Yeah.
few minutes
Elon
later,
Musk.
another flight also reported seeing a man fly past with a
Man's just
jetpack.
vibing,
Despite
listening
this
to
sounding like something from a science fiction novel, the airport tower warned incoming planes that they weren't alone in the airspace and set about trying to find the culprit. The airspace invader wasn't found on the day, and the person responsible for the disruption remains a mystery. The FBI and FAA, which is responsible for giving aircraft
That's kind of like scary. Like imagine you're just seeing outside and then some guy just lands on the wings and just says hi and goes away.
For sure, that's not possible, but sure, I like the imagination.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
you can expect anything.
permission to fly in congested zones, are now investigating the matter. Functioning jetpacks have existed for over a decade, though they don't particularly look like what most people would expect when thinking about the technology. They're relatively popular in places such as Dubai, but fuel efficiency is the main issue.
Iron Man, that's Iron Man.
While a jetpack would be able to get a person up to 3,000 feet, it's unlikely they would be able to stay there for very long, making it even more dangerous to be in such a crowded airspace as the flyer tries to quickly land. This has led many to believe it was actually a mannequin attached to a drone rather than an actual person, though without video evidence, it's impossible to say
that is so
unless the
smart.
culprit
Imagine
is
a guy
caught.
like
my.
advertising like
I
that.
actually thought that was a man. I actually thought
You'll
he was
see like Gucci flag up to airplanes
Like
and
he was-
advertising.
like yeah. Like,
Imagine. Yeah, man. Future anything can happen.
Number 4. This mystery began some 75 million years ago, but only came to light in June of 2020. There are still countless mysteries about the world beyond our solar system. The more we learn about the giant forces of nature like stars and black holes, the more questions we have. Even so, scientists believe they have a general understanding of the life cycles of the stars. Large stars typically become red giants before going supernova and collapsing in on themselves to form a black hole. Of course, it's more complicated than that, and each cycle depends on the individual qualities of each star. But the general life cycle is understood. Between 2000 and 2011, scientists from around the world studied a massive star in the Kidman Dwarf Galaxy. The galaxy in question is some 75 million light years away from Earth,
Wow,
much too
that's so
far
far.
away
Honestly,
for astronomers
half
to
of
see
this went over my
individual
head,
stars.
but okay.
However, the signatures of some
I
stars
swear.
could be
No, I did understand, but
I understand a bit.
detected, allowing scientists to study them. In the 10 years scientists spent studying the star, they found the star was at a late stage in its life cycle. It was what's described as a luminous blue variable, and approximately 2.5 million times brighter than our own sun.
wow.
Stars of this
Imagine
variety
those in
are
our
known to
solar system.
occasionally
My God,
dramatically
and you
shift in
guys tried
brightness,
so bloody
but traces
hard.
of the luminous blue signature that scientists detect would remain. Hoping studying the star could provide new insight into stars at the late stage in their cycle, scientists turned their telescopes toward the Kidman Dwarf Galaxy in late 2019.
That's like
The
some
star
bird
wasn't
nest.
there. At first, it was suspected it was possibly an issue with the instruments used. Not only was the star undetectable, there wasn't even a trace of its luminous blue signature. So scientists tried to detect it again with a telescope in a different part of the world a few months later. There was still no sign of it. It appeared the star had completely disappeared, as if it had
That's
died
weird,
long
actually.
ago. However, there had been no supernova, and we've yet to detect
Imagine
any
the
traces
sun
of the
starts
black
moving.
hole it would have collapsed into. Scientists have two
shut up,
explanations for the
dude.
mysterious
That's so
disappearance.
scary. Just imagine. Yeah, that's the bro.
Wow.
I can see
That-
the
that'd be
sun
so
right in front
weird.
of my eyes right
Uh-huh.
now.
We'll burn it like barbecue.
Appearance. Though
Worse
this would
than
be the
that
first
also,
time it's been
possible.
witnessed, it's possible the star skipped the supernova stage. It would be the equivalent of the star slipping away into a sleep. Alternatively, the star could have simply transformed into a less luminous star, and the light is currently observed by dust. Whatever happened, it occurred millions of years ago, so it won't have any impact on our lives today. However, it is proof we don't fully understand how stars die, and might not be able to predict a similar occurrence happening much closer to home.
Wow.
That was actually
Number
boring.
3.
That was actually boring.
Exactly, like I thought it was gonna be what exactly happened in 2020. I think
Bro,
the first one
yeah, the
did, but
first
like
one-
the second one
back
millions
one
of
was
years
so
back.
good.
Like, like more general knowledge about like the solar system
Yeah,
and
no
shit.
one know about that shit.
Yeah.
This mystery is
Hey,
actually
what-
one that this
what's
channel
wrong
has
with his
covered
face?
relatively recently, but progress in the case means the mystery is worth a follow-up.
Oh,
British
what the hell?
diplomat Richard Morris went missing while on a jog on the
That must
6th
be a
of May
birthmark or
this
something.
year. The
I was talking about
52-year-old
his- Yeah, it's
had worked
possible.
as the UK ambassador to Nepal until 2019.
Bruno
but had since
Fernandes.
returned home in
Bruno
Hampshire,
Fernandes
where he lived with his wife and 3 children. He was well liked at work, appeared to have no personal issues, and had recently been appointed the new British High Commissioner to Fiji, due to start
He
just a
looked like a
few weeks
monkey.
after he disappeared. He was reported missing after he didn't return home that day, and police began weeks of searching the nearby Alice Holt forest. The
Why is he
public
just
were
zooming
asked to
into
search
his
their
face?
private property for any signs of shelters that Richard could have
I
used.
don't wanna stare
It was
at
clear
him.
the
Bro, first
belief,
of all,
at least early in
man
the
needs to
investigation,
brush his
was that
teeth.
Richard was still alive
Look at
but
him.
injured in some way, or had gotten lost and hadn't been
I
able
don't
to make
wanna
his way
look at
back
my
home.
screen right now.
While the forest
This
usually
face looks so
hosts
weird.
hundreds of visitors
Yeah,
during
this
the
is a
summer,
better-
Now he
current
looks better
events
with
This is a
his.
better
Yeah,
picture.
what a big.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
so
back
much
into
better.
this here.
would have left anybody stranded in the forest rather isolated. Police also viewed hundreds of hours of CCTV footage taken from around local running paths in hopes of spotting Richard, but there was no sign of him. Richard's body was eventually discovered in August, more than 3 months after he had vanished. The body was found by members of the public on a walk in Alice Holt Forest. It's not clear if this was an area police hadn't checked during their earlier investigations, or if he had moved there after the search had been completed. There are lots of other unknowns surrounding Richard's death, and it seems finding his body hasn't actually answered many questions. At the time of the discovery, police said they weren't treating the death as suspicious, but an inquest found the cause of death to be uncertain, meaning the doctors conducting the autopsy couldn't determine his cause. It's also not been revealed if Richard died the day he went missing, or survived for a portion of time after his disappearance. The inquest has been adjourned until July of next year, so it's unlikely we'll have answers soon,
Honestly, I
but
feel like some
hopefully his
animal
family
attacked
can
him or
find
something.
peace.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
anything is
some
possible
spoilers.
because they said there's nothing
Number
like,
two.
there's no information about. Yeah, it's
Anything can
exactly.
happen.
So,
Yeah.
On August
Yeah.
20th,
Yeah, right.
reports came through about a strange die-off of migratory birds in the White Sands area.
Oh, I know what this is gonna be. All the birds are frozen in the sky. Let me guess.
yeah, I swear I've heard
New
about that
Mexico.
before.
I've seen this.
Ecologists in the area typically
Me
find
too.
at most
I've
around
seen
half a
about
dozen dead
outside
birds in a week.
Birds were frozen
The
in
die-off was
sky.
definitely disturbing, but it was thought to be an isolated phenomenon. However, it was soon discovered the issue was much more widespread. Hundreds of thousands of dead
Ooh.
birds have been found across New Mexico,
Wow.
Colorado, Texas, and northern Mexico
Dead,
with no
exactly.
explanation.
Wow.
Wow.
The unexplained die-off
This
wasn't
is,
limited to just one species either.
That's weird, bro.
Warblers,
Very weird.
bluebirds, sparrows, blackbirds, western wood peewees, and
Honestly, I feel like
flycatchers
I
are
can
all
solve
among the
this.
species caught up in the die-off. Many residents have also reported the birds acting strangely shortly before they died. The birds were lethargic and unresponsive, which only added to the die-off as the birds were unable to get out of the way of oncoming traffic. Even birds that don't
Holy,
typically come down to the
wow.
ground, spending their entire
Oh,
lives
that's
in the
actually
air
so
or in the
weird.
trees,
That's in
were
New
stranded on the
Mexico.
ground
Yeah.
and let humans approach them. Ecologists are currently working to try to figure out what might have happened and how to prevent something like this from happening again.
It
It's
actually might
likely
be.
there
Like
are a
this
number
year,
of factors that
has
might have
actually
played a
proved
part
it.
in the strange die-off. At first, scientists from the Californian wildfires that are ravaging the West Coast were to blame. The fires likely forced many birds to migrate early, meaning they didn't have enough energy for the journey. The smoke and other particles in the air would also play a part. However, ecologists started to see isolated die-offs earlier in August before the fires began to take hold, meaning some other cause kick-started this mystery. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services are currently conducting necropsies to determine the exact cause of death and shed some
that's
light on the
actually
mystery.
so weird. That's actually, wow. That is quite weird.
Number 1.
Okay.
Thousands of people around the world have received mysterious packages of seeds with no note or explanation. Many feared the seeds were a form of
What?
eco-terrorism or some
What?
other biological weapon.
That's so weird. What,
Warnings
bro?
from government
What do you
agencies
mean
telling
by
people not to
eco-terrorism?
plant them heighten the fear. The first reports of these mystery seeds came from the United States in May. A few dozen residents in Utah made the news when they received unsolicited packages from China. Although they hadn't ordered
Man,
anything
China's
that would have
China.
resulted in packages, they
Wow.
opened
Yeah,
them
yeah,
to
that's
find the
true.
mystery seeds. Within a month, there were reports of similar packages across the US, Canada, and the United Kingdom. Although all packages appeared to be from China and sent via China Post, others had labels indicating they were from Taiwan or even Zambia. Authorities from multiple
Zambia.
countries warned people not to plant the seeds. Instead, they were to be sent to government agencies or destroyed to stop them germinating in landfills. Of course, many people were too curious to leave the seeds alone.
Contract.
Ignoring the warnings, people across America have
yeah.
admitted to placing the seeds with mixed results.
That's
Some of
this
these
is so
never
weird.
germinated, but others grew well and even resulted in plants. The big worry about
Oh,
these
so
plants
Possible.
is that they
I
could
mean,
be
it is quite
invasive
possible.
Yeah,
species.
exactly. Possible.
Japanese knotweed is the best
Man.
example of such a
Imagine
plant.
you-
People are too
It was brought
dangerous.
from Japan to Europe in the 1800s.
China, any
Initially,
Exactly, bro.
Victorians
China
liked
started
the
the
plant
China.
because it looked
freaking
like bamboo,
pandemic.
It's
but it
not good.
rapidly grew out of control. Such plants are difficult to remove, have an impact on native biodiversity, and even cause property damage. Another worry is that the seeds may contain plant diseases from East Asia.
Oh.
With no defense against the foreign
Not
disease,
drugs,
native
diseases.
plants and crops could be ravaged by it.
Yeah, that makes sense
Tests
now.
found that the
Not with so
seeds
much
were a
drugs.
mix of ornamental, fruit and vegetable.
Like before, it
herb
was
and
like
weed
a bit
species.
weird the way the
Essentially,
seeds and
they were
all.
normal plants and most likely not dangerous. Most authorities have now come to the conclusion the seeds are part of a brushing scam. Online sellers will send fake packages out and use them to create fake reviews. Seeds are used due to their low cost and matching the weight of the items that are supposedly being sold. The only mystery that remains is how these sellers got the names and addresses of thousands of people around the world.
Wow.
What?
Honestly, if anyone who's not Asian is watching this, I tell them we Indians are fine.
I
It's
swear,
only
I
Chinese people
swear.
who's messing videos up. Indians are fine.
That was-
Indians are
That was actually weird.
was-
Just like
that
this
was
year.
a bit
That makes
weird.
sense now.
But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Thank you. This was it, and hopefully like and subscribe the videos.
share
And
it to everybody.
let us know more in the
Yes.
Google form. What do you want to see?
We'll see
Thank you.
Yeah.
We need to reach 100
Yes,
subscribers.
please subscribe and please like. Yeah.
Before the end of
Thank you so
the
much.
So much and see you in
Peace.
the